Well, the way I feel about, yeah, because I believe that most in the West, they really do not grasp the concept of that Ukraine is a red line for Russia. That's a red line. And if they think it is that, I'm talking from a Western mindset, as people will be thinking. If they think that Russia is bluffing, they are mistaken. Russia does
Yeah,
not bluff, based
doesn't
on my
bluff.
understanding of its history. I mean, I wrote a book about Russia, I did the research and so forth, and I realized if you look at their history, they're not gonna, they won't bluff. And if NATO is pushing this far out to cross that red line, Russia's gonna react.
Well, this is one of the most dangerous things. I'm glad you brought this up. Joe Biden, in the aftermath of the summit, has because Russia has been saying all along that if you push red lines, certain red lines,
Mhm.
um, we will have to respond with the totality of our capabilities, which implies the potential of nuclear weapons.
Nuclear.
And that scared a lot of people in NATO. They're like, man, this is getting very close to a nuclear thing. So what Biden recognizes right now that if things remain the same, you're going to get the same outcome. I mean, so if what NATO has said is that we will continue to provide military resources to Ukraine. France is going to provide the Scalp missile, which is just basically the French version of the Storm Shadow that the British have already
Oh.
provided. The the Germans and everybody are going to provide more artillery systems. The United States might provide the Abrams tank, which is just basically a slightly upgraded version of the Leopard tank, which is burning on the ground in Ukraine today. So nothing that NATO is talking about, even F-16 fighters, I think professionals realize it's a non-starter. It's not going to have any impact. There's nothing Ukraine that NATO can give to Ukraine that changes the outcome. And so there might have to be other things considered. I don't know what they are, and I am loath to speculate. But Biden said Russia will never use nuclear weapons. It's a bluff. That Putin's bluffing. And what that means is that he is liberating people to start looking at policy options that aggressively confront Russian red lines. But as you just rightly noted, Putin don't bluff. Russia doesn't bluff.
No.
And we could be in a situation where we cross a red line after the Russians are screaming at the top of their lungs, stop, stop, don't go there, don't do this, stop. And we do it anyways. And then everybody will be scratching their head when pop, the nuclear weapon goes off.
Exactly.
And that's the trajectory that we're headed on right now. And it's one of ignorance. I mean, how dare the American president say that? I mean, it's just irresponsible. It's grossly irresponsible for him to articulate it that. Now, it doesn't mean that you surrender to Russia, but what it means is you have to start injecting responsible statements from the leaders of the United States, and the United States is a leader of NATO. It's sending the wrong signal. It's saying to NATO, come up with out-of-the-box solutions that challenge the Russian red lines, because Russia's bluffing. They'll never use nuclear weapons.
And that's exactly what I got from the statement yesterday by the foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov. I read his statement. It was translated, of course. I don't speak Russian, but I read the statement by which, and I'm paraphrasing here or summarizing. Basically, what he's saying is that we Russians, consider the transfer of long-range missiles from France as a threat to our security. And the reason he mentioned that term security, because you and I know what's in Russia's doctrine for using the nuclear. Anytime they feel threatened, they will have the right to deploy the nuclear because there is a threat to their sovereignty, to their security. And that's how I interpreted Lavrov's statement by giving the warning to NATO that should you do this, you are getting closer to crossing that red line.